What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Wedding Planning Podcast. I'm your co-host, Monica.
And I'm your other co-host, Amanda.
And today we have with us one of the videographers that works here in Calgary and area, Michael from Michael K Film. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Awesome. Why don't you start by telling us about yourself and your business?
Yeah, so my name is Michael, and I am a wedding videographer based out of Calgary. I have been filming weddings for the past 2 years and kind of, just falling in love with it. I've had the opportunity to film weddings all over Alberta and now kind of venturing into destination weddings as well.
Nice.
I can vouch for Michael. He did my wedding and it was the best video ever.
Yes.
So he's amazing at what he does.
Yeah, we worked with Michael before he shot. I'm sure people have seen our beautiful Moraine Lake elopement.
Yes.
So nice.
Yes.
He killed it.
That was the best day. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
And we love Michael and he's super talented. I still haven't seen Monica's wedding video, but
okay.
Nobody's seen it except for Brandon and I.
Nice.
Fine.
You gotta get that out there.
I was actually talking to a photographer that we did her wedding for, and I wanted to get her photos, obviously, because it was beautiful. But I was like, "Oh, did you get your wedding video back?" And she was like, "Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I really want to keep that for just us. Like, we haven't even shared it with friends and family. Like, it's super personal. You know, that maybe they have their vows, because I don't think they did vows at the ceremony. You know, their personal vows were played throughout it. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. I appreciate that. It's something that a wedding that is going to be just yours. Do you agree, Monica?
That's how I feel. I'm just like, I haven't even shown our parents. I'm just like, I feel like everything with the wedding was everyone else's. The photos are obviously on the website, on the Instagram, everywhere. But the video, no one has to see but me. I'll probably show people eventually, but I don't think I'll ever post it.
Yeah, I think
Michael?
I totally, and that's the whole point of it, really. Like, I've had to retrain kind of my thought process when going in. It's like, hey, I'm filming this for Monica. I'm not filming it for myself. I'm not filming it for her parents, but I'm filming it for you. So at the end of the day, it's like, it's totally, I design it for you, and I'm glad it's so special to you. Yeah.
It is. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I want to see it, but I understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, tell us how you got into videography.
Yeah, so I grew up just with watching YouTube, and a couple of my cousins were really big into video. So I just really looked up to that. I took it through high school and just fell in love with it. I got a GoPro, I had a drone, and I kind of just was like doing it as a hobby until I met Keely, who kind of pushed me to start doing weddings. And did a couple for her clients and fell in love with it really, really fast, and ended up just kind of taking it on my own and starting my own business and then growing that. So yeah.
That's so amazing. I feel like that happens to a lot of people, like similar to me. When I went to school, I was like, I'm not gonna do weddings, they're so boring.
Yeah.
I did one, and like I wasn't hardly involved. I was like a venue coordinator at a golf course.
Yeah.
But I was like, I love this. This is amazing.
Literally. And it's like, I never, just the things that I get to experience that even some of the guests don't get to experience, just so amazing. Like the amount of times that I get tears just in the back of the scenes, it's like, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful and priceless.
Always.
Like I'm trying to film and I'm trying to cry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So there always seems to be this like stigma or hesitation behind hiring a videographer, even though we know the importance of a videographer is almost just as important, even sometimes more important, some would argue, than a photographer. So how do you convince or like talk to your potential clients for them to see the worth of a videographer?
Yeah, and totally. I think I just start by reminding them, hey, this is every bride's biggest regret, is not having a videographer. And obviously a photographer has her place and it's so beautiful, but there are just some moments that you want captured with just movement. So you can feel like how they're feeling, the personalities, the emotions, and just like moments like that, I think are so important. Like first look with your dad, or first look with the groom, you just want that in movement just so you can feel kind of how you felt on the day, even like years down the road, is so important.
That is always people's number one biggest regret. It's either
Mhm.
you didn't hire a videographer or you didn't hire a planner. Like, of course,
Exactly. Yeah,
Seriously.
those are always the two
totally.
ones. And yeah, we've said that a lot to our clients because, and even Monica and I had the same conversation. She was like,
Exactly.
I don't
Yes.
know. And I was like,
Yeah.
girl, you know that is
Yes.
all of our clients' number one biggest regret if they don't get it. And so I'm sure you're so glad you did
Totally.
it.
Yeah,
But
and being
Yeah,
on the other
exactly.
side now, the day happens so fast that you remember it, but you don't like watching the video back. You're like, oh my God, now I like feel like I'm back in this moment. Whereas
Totally.
looking at the photos, they're beautiful. They're a great representation of the day, but it just kind of I didn't get the same like, oh my God moment.
Totally. Yeah, I had one of my clients record themselves watching it. And the groom, I had taken him and recorded some shots with him. And after, while he was watching, he was like, I don't even remember this. He's like, when did this happen? So it's
what?
just like there is so many moments throughout the day that I think it's just going by so fast and you're so nervous that you're kind of forgetting to soak it all in.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was so cool.
Nice. That's amazing.
Hmm.
When people hire a videographer, what exactly are they receiving?
Yeah, so it's definitely changed over the years. Now, kind of my package is you get a highlight film, which is like it ranges from 7 to 11 minutes, but it really depends kind of on the couple's day. If they do like certain things, it will make it longer. They get ceremony. I have add-ons for ceremony and speech coverage, so they can get like from the start to the end. They can get that covered as well as I also include like a drone footage if I'm allowed, as well as I have another add-on for like vintage Super 8 film.
Sick.
But yeah,
They can kind
hmm
of choose between, can they get something longer or shorter than
totally.
you're offering?
It's totally customizable, and it's like I'm here to serve the couple. So if they want like a 15-minute styled video, I'm totally willing to do that. I've even had some couples to be like, hey, we love The Office, could we do like an office styled video? And I'm like totally up for that. So yeah.
That's
That's
so fun.
amazing. Yeah, because I
Hmm.
think a lot of our, like, some of our couples are like, okay, I want, this covered, but I also want like a separate video of just the ceremony that they can share with people. Let's say that
Totally.
they're there, or, a separate cut of the vows or a separate cut of the speeches. I'm sure you see that a lot too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it makes it a lot easier, especially when family can't come to the wedding. If they want it the day after, the couple days after, I totally quickly edit them and send it to them just so they can show their family who wasn't there.
Totally. Yeah, that's good to
Hmm.
know that there's different options. One question
Totally.
I have for you, actually, that's not on the list, but prompts a question. Um, because I feel like some people try to cut the videographer's time shorter because, like, you know what? Oh, we've already had our photographer stay for, let's say, 10 hours, and we only have our videographer for, let's say, like 6 hours. And I tried to
Hmm.
tell them, like, it's really important for the video to be able to like tell a story like from
Exactly.
to the end. Like, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
Yeah. And there are some circumstances where that's okay. Like if it's a or budget issue and you can't afford the full 8 hour, 10 hours, like I totally understand. But I've had a couple last summer who decided not to do any getting ready. And it's kind of hard to jump into a wedding without that because that's where you kind of introduce yourself and kind of start your storytelling. Obviously I made it work and it was still a beautiful film, but it's nice to have that beginning and then go to the end. Even if I can't be there for the end, I've had clients send me their iPhone footage of the night and it looks so great still. Um, and yeah, I'll include that for them as well. But yeah, I definitely encourage the 8 to 10 hours on your wedding day.
Okay, good to know.
And so how would you recommend that couples prepare for getting ready to be on video for their wedding day? Because with photo, you typically have engagement photos and you can get comfortable. So how do you people get
Totally.
comfortable with video?
Yeah, totally. So I offer a package that includes an engagement video. That's so nice just to be able to go in and meet my couple, kind of get comfortable around each other. I also love to just hop on a Zoom call and just get to know them and
Mhm.
make sure they're comfortable in front of me. That's where getting ready is really nice because I can come in and introduce myself, get to know them there as well. I also have what is it called? A tip guide.
Nice.
Where I send to them and kind of just give them pointers and tips on how to be like more comfortable, tell them what to do and what not to do. I tell them not to look into the camera because it will break the third rule or the fourth wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually just give them nice tips just to be comfortable about yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not, because that usually makes people uncomfortable when watching. But yeah.
And how do you find it like working in conjunction with the photographer to ensure like everyone that both parties are getting what they need?
Yeah, totally. I usually like most photographers will be like, "Hey, look at my camera," and I usually just add a prompt where I'm like, get them to look down or get them to look off into the distance or look at each other. Me and Keely work so well together on that end because she knows that, and I usually communicate with other photographers as well beforehand to make sure we're all kind of on the same page.
That's fair. Yeah, for those people listening that don't know who Keely is
Hmm.
Michael's fiance,
Yes.
and she has always done all of our headshots and brand
Yes,
shoots. We did our
exactly.
recent brand shoot. We had Michael shoot some of the film,
Mhm.
which I'm sure you guys have seen on our show.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
you guys work
exactly.
so well together. Like
Exactly,
you
yes.
guys just like driving, and then when someone's like, "Hey, no, you need to move," or "No, you need to get them
Totally.
to do this," you just like flow. It's nice.
Exactly, yeah. It's really nice in a ceremony situation where we're just looking at each other like, "Hey, where are you gonna be? Where am I gonna be?" Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, exactly. Silent communication, but yeah, it works really well together.
Nice.
Mhm.
Do you like getting input and sort of inspiration from your clients, or do you prefer to have kind of full creative freedom as the day goes on?
Yeah, obviously, I love to get to know my couples and kind of get to know what they like. And I always tell them, hey, if you see shots other videographers do that you really like, hey, let's try it out. Let's do it. Um, yeah, and if they want like music choice, um, I can send them the website that I use to get my music and stuff like that. Like if they want just little inputs, I totally love that. And as well as when I send the gallery or the wedding video, and they're like, "Hey, you missed this one shot, or you missed this shot," I totally work with them every time to kind of get exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I just get a feel throughout the day. I listen to their DJ, what music they're kind of playing. I also get to know the couple, and as well as when I'm playing it, I always make sure it flows and tells like a story to their day. And yeah, I have a good eye. I try to have a good eye of that. Like, is this flowing? Is this good to the couple? But
Are
yeah.
you ever allowed to use like their special songs, like their first dance or entrance, or is that considered like copyright? I don't know the legal parts.
Um, I'm not supposed to, but you can. There are websites where you can copyright music, and you can get that license to use it. So it really depends. Really depends on the artist.
Okay,
But yeah,
fair.
I always try to find those popular mainstream songs that I can use.
Okay, awesome. So how do you like, because I'm sure as a videographer, you've developed your style and you've got like quite a few number of weddings under your belt now. So how do
Totally.
you make sure that not every video looks and feels the exact same?
I think every. I think it's a lot easier said than done, or a lot easier. A lot of weddings are so different. Like your wedding was winter. I didn't do a lot of winter, so it was automatically different.
Mhm.
And every couple has a love story that is just so different. And I think just like capturing that, every vow is different. And every venue is different. I'm sure eventually it will get to the point where I'm repeating or having the same venues and stuff like that. But and then just like when I'm editing, just making sure that like the layout is different and telling a story as well to make it
I guess
different.
it's kind of similar like when we do a design, like it may like parts of it could be the same because it's
Exactly.
the venue, but everything is always like slightly different and or rings true to the couple in some way.
Exactly. And yeah, music, I haven't got to a point where I need to reuse music yet. So that's awesome. But I'm sure once I start reusing music, it's going to take me right back to the old one. And but yeah, I was trying to find new music and trying to lay it out different as well is important.
Is it hard to try and make the same venue look different, or you haven't had a lot of overlapping yet?
I haven't had too many overlapping. This summer, I have a couple of the same venues. But again, it's going to be at a different time of the season. The one venue I had last year was in the fall. This is going to be in the summer. And I'm really excited to reshoot those in different seasons too, just to see how the feel is really different. But yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, going to the different venues too, you'll see like different of like the B-roll shots that you can take. And now you've seen what it's like all together, like similar to us when we experience a venue, we're like, okay, now we know what's possible here kind of thing.
Totally. And yeah, style is always changing as well. So as I grow, it's going to look different just because of how much I've improved. Yeah.
And I don't think you can mirror the weather. Like I think back to my wedding, and you're never going to get those clouds in that same region ever again.
That's never going to happen. And I was like so blown away. I was like,
this is for the other people.
Yeah, exactly. I've had so many couples be like, where was that? I'm like, oh, it was just on a hill in Bear Spa.
Literally.
Yeah.
With the most perfect sky and the perfect sun.
Exactly. Yeah. It was stunning.
Nice. So how do you choose like the clips that go into the final videos that make up, like 7 to 11 minutes?
Yeah, I think every single clip I try to have a point to it. I always ask myself, like, what is this telling to their story? And does it flow well with the music? Does it flow well with the vows? Does it? I just make sure that it tells something to the story. Yeah. And oftentimes there are just clips where I'm like, oh, this doesn't fit here. I don't like how that feels. I shot this too quick. My movement's too quick, or just doesn't quite feel right. So I always ask myself, how does this make me feel, and how will it make the couple feel as well?
Yeah, that's so true. So like, how long does it take you to do a video? Like on average, if you know off the top of your head.
How long would it take? It would take me at least 2 weeks. I think I'm putting quite a lot of time, especially as I get better and I'm learning more techniques, and I'm also trying to make sure my coloring is perfect. And yeah, Keely is the person who kind of make sure it's good. So I'll like send it back and forth to her constantly. Like, hey, what do you think of this? And she's like, oh, I think this needs change. And then I change that. So it does take quite a while, but yeah, I would say like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. That's so sweet. So what's typically like on average turnaround time that someone can expect to get their video back?
Yeah, so I would say on average is 5 to 8 weeks. It pushes in the summer when I have a bunch of weddings on top of each other. It definitely pushes to 8 weeks. But like right now, if I were to film a wedding, I could get it done in 5, and that would be kind of my estimated delivery.
And do you send like little sneaky peekies all the time? Like I know, like I got to see on Instagram, which you probably don't put every single wedding on Instagram, but do you typically send sneak peeks?
I will always send a couple of sneak peek. I won't always post it. I have so far. I've definitely posted every single one so far, or most of them, but I definitely send a sneak peek. And then, I don't really give updates. I haven't had a couple looking for that. I love sending it at the 8-week mark because it's enough time where they're sitting and waiting, and that it means something more than if I get it to them a week after and they're like, oh, it just happened kind of thing. So yeah.
Nice.
How many times have you watched one person's wedding video? I'm so curious. You've probably seen it like 1,000 times.
That's the hardest part is I do watch it 1,000 times. Like I just filmed a wedding a couple days ago, and I've already started editing, and it's so hard because I second guess myself after watching it for the 1,000th time. I'm like, this is good. I can't tell, but yeah, it's in the thousands.
Our own worst critics.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Nice that you have Keely as your like chief.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's great because I sent it to her yesterday and she's like, oh my goodness, I love it. I'm like, okay, that's great.
She's honest.
Gotta get at it.
Exactly. She's definitely honest, and that's the great part. Yeah.
So everyone's all about the trends. So what do you say the 2023 wedding video trends are going to be?
I think the 2023 trend is definitely vintage style. I think, yeah, that is definitely a style, and I do love it. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's also a bit timeless too, and artsy as well. And it does definitely tell something to the story in a different way that we're not used to.
Is that the Super 8 style you were referring
Yeah,
to before?
yeah. We have Super 8, but you can also kind of mimic it as well, just on your regular digital camera. So yeah, that's
And do
definitely.
you want to explain to the people what Super 8 is?
So Super 8 is a film that was kind of invented in the 1970s. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was in the 70s. And it gives this really just vintage look. And it kind of makes you feel like you're in the 70s again. And I think it's a sense of nostalgia that brought people to it as well.
Totally. Yeah, I know what you
Mhm.
mean. I like it. I don't know if it's gonna stick around though. It might just be a trend. I love
Mhm.
the style.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, it could just be something that's like here and gone. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I think there's something about the real Super 8. Um, I hope it sticks because I do really like it. I don't know if it will be included in the highlight reels forever or the highlight films, but I think if someone wanted it separately, I think it's just so cool. Like I went to a waterfall and filmed it on my Super 8. I'm like, it's so cool that this is how it looked. I mean, it obviously didn't look like that, but
Yeah,
it had that feel. Yeah,
that's sick. Okay, I have two more questions for you.
awesome.
One's not on here, but the first one is, what is your favorite part of the wedding day?
I think everything. I'm a huge yeah, I'm a sucker for first looks. I think whether that's doing it before the ceremony or doing it at the ceremony, I'm always a sucker just seeing how the groom is going to react or the bride is going to react. And I just love all the small moments where they're just walking. I love giving my couple space whenever I can. So if like we're doing a walking shot, just let them walk a little bit longer, just together, just so they can try and soak it all in. I just love those moments where they're spending time with each other, and often you find the most like authentic moments in that, where they're like whispering "I love you," or you can just see them mouth it to each other. It like melts my heart every time. Yeah, it's so great.
Well, you can really tell that you love what you do and
Hmm.
you're good at it, in our opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely do. I've fallen in love with it, and my season literally just ended and it's just starting again. And I'm like, I can't wait. This is great. Let's do it.
My other question is that wasn't on here, but do you have any advice for couples that are planning their weddings? That, any tips, advice in terms of on the day or planning up to? Because obviously you see a lot of couples together. I'd love to hear your input on that.
Totally. I would just say give you and the groom as much time alone as possible, or just like like still and quiet, just the two of you. The day will go by so quickly, and I think it's important that you guys just soak it in and just enjoy the moment. And I think that video is great because it can capture that. But just like reminding each other, like, hey, we have the rest of our lives. Let's just enjoy this one night and have a blast.
Love it. I love it.
Hmm.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. It's
Hmm.
honestly, it happens so fast and people don't realize how fast it happens until the day's
Hmm.
over. And then you look back
Totally.
and you're like, what happened this morning? Like, what's going
Exactly.
on?
We're
Did we
married
just get married? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on. Where can people find you?
Yeah. So you guys can find me on my Instagram, Michael K Films, and you can also I have a YouTube channel, Michael K Films as well. But yeah, mostly on my Instagram.
And
now.
do you travel? We have a lot of international listeners. Do you travel?
I do travel. Yes, I love traveling. I've had a couple shoots in Kelowna, and I have two in Mexico next year, and I'm always up to travel. I love it. Yeah.
Amazing. That's so exciting.
Hmm.
We love watching you grow your business. We think you're
Aw.
super talented, and we appreciate you coming on and sharing all your lovely
Yes.
knowledge.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, it was great.
Everyone go check out Michael's page. Check it out, the stuff that we've done with him, as well as maybe Monica's wedding video will be posted on there soon.
Totally.
No.
Yes. Maybe not, but it was great. I promise you guys it was great.
It was great. You don't need to see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And yeah, take care.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, I'll stop it there.
Nice.